David Volmer, For Life Chief Scientific Officer, and I'm really happy to be with you today to kick off a series of videos around an area of health that has been important to For Life from the very beginning and is even more relevant today. My presentation is called The Secret to Happiness. What I and other Health Science Advisory Board members will really be discussing in the next few videos are research and products that support emotional well-being. I will be using those terms interchangeably, happiness and emotional well-being. While many of you, depending on your age, may think that money or fame are the secrets to success and happiness, you will find that there is another, more powerful secret. Let's talk about a study that started at Harvard all the way back in 1938, a study designed to unlock the secrets of healthy, happy lives. The researchers wanted to know what causes some people to live longer, happier lives than others. This Harvard study was and is one of the longest running research studies ever, and it is still going on today. The study has lasted over 80 years, managed by 4 different Harvard researchers. At the time the study began, the prevailing wisdom in societal research stated that human development was complete by the age of 30. The original study was funded by a department store magnate named William Thomas Grant. He and Dr. Arlie Bach, a prominent Harvard physician, wanted to study successful and normal men to see what makes a good life and perhaps even decipher a general recipe for success. The study followed 268 Harvard sophomore students, all of whom were considered to be among the best and brightest of their peers. It also followed 456 inner-city youth, specifically chosen because they came from some of the poorest and most disadvantaged neighborhoods in Boston. All the participants agreed to be followed throughout their whole lives. Now you may recognize this was not the most diverse group possible, nor was it representative of the general population. Nonetheless, it is a lesson that can be applied across all spectrums of society. This study applies to any race, gender, status, or even culture. We can all learn from the lessons in this study. Every 2 years, participants completed questionnaires about their physical and mental health, their marital quality, career or retirement enjoyment, and many other aspects of their life. Every 5 years, health information such as blood work or brain scans were collected from the men and their physicians to assess the participants' physical health. Many of the men from both groups have been interviewed every 5 to 10 years to document even more in-depth information about their relationships, careers, and their adjustment to aging. Over the 80 years this study has spanned, these boys grew into men in all walks of life. Sons, husbands, fathers, grandfathers, soldiers, bricklayers, doctors, factory workers, and even one U.S. president. Most of them have passed on. Some are still living, and those men, now in their 90s, are still participating in the study to this day. And while there are many participants who started from humble beginnings and climbed the social ladder, there were an equal number who went in the opposite direction. Several of the men who achieved the most positive emotional well-being did so in the middle years of their life, dispelling the notion that their lot in life was decided by the age of 30. One such example was Godfrey Camille. Godfrey went into Harvard study with fairly bleak prospects. He had the lowest rating of future stability for all participants, and he had previously attempted suicide. He grew up in a terrible environment and ate meals alone until the age of 6. This pain and desolation haunted him for years. But at 35, he had what he called a spiritual awakening. He went to medical school and became a prominent psychiatrist. He turned the reckoning of pain from his early life into a tool for serving others. At the end of his life, according to his children and friends, he was one of the happiest and most satisfied men in the study. So what did the Harvard researchers ultimately learn from all of these years, all the subjects, and all the thousands of pieces of data collected? What can lead us towards emotional well-being? Well, it wasn't about fame, fortune, or financial success. It was this: good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period. And from this study, there are 3 lessons to be learned. The first lesson is that loneliness kills. People with social connections, be that to family members, friends, or even neighbors, are happier, physically healthier, and tend to live longer. Those who are more isolated from others than they wish to be suffer with poor health. The second lesson is that the quality of your close relationships matter. Living in the midst of good, warm relationships is protective. It's not about the quantity of connections one has or the number of Facebook friends. It's about the quality of those connections. Close relationships seem to minimize some of life's most difficult challenges. The third lesson is that close relationships protect your brain. The aged participants who were in the loving, close relationships had better memory and less decline than those people without those connections. And another fascinating message from this study was that of financial success, which at certain levels was tied more to the quality of relationships for that individual than to their own intelligence. As a scientist, I was fascinated to learn about this study. Its sheer length and dogged commitment of the researchers and participants is simply amazing. But in retrospect, I recognize that most of the conclusions and outcomes on the influence of relationships are really not that surprising. Perhaps many of you thought the same thing. In fact, I would venture to say that a lot of you may have already predicted those conclusions. And why do I think that? Because each of you are in the relationship business. You are building relationships through the warmth of your smiles, which I'm not able to see right now, and through the caring embraces, which I haven't felt for many months, but I have witnessed and felt those in past conventions. You are already on this path, this journey, because you understand the power of relationships, and you feel the happiness that they bring you. It's what makes each of you so special. This study embodies what For Life is all about: together building people. So having good, caring, and warm relationships clearly has a positive effect on our emotional and physical well-being. But is that the only factor in your emotional well-being? Are there other factors? Well, as you may imagine, the answer is yes. There are many things we can do beyond having good relationships that can impact our happiness. We are going to learn in the next few presentations from the Health Science Advisory Board what other aspects might promote emotional well-being. In these next few videos, you're going to learn all the varied things that you can do to improve your emotional well-being, from diet, exercise, mindfulness, to our immune system, and of course, For Life supplements. From existing products to the newly launched products, we've got it all covered. So please take the time to listen, learn, and enjoy these important messages. Thank you.